regardless of whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, are you okay with the teams using a different set of rules? Is our team winning more important than the truth? Is our team winning more important than following the rules that we've structured for our country for the last 200 years? Democrats, even if you do think that Trump is 100% guilty for everything that he's being indicted for, do you believe that Biden is completely innocent as well? Or is it that you think he's guilty, however, it's more important to keep someone out by any means necessary? Politics is a game. We have to play by the rules, otherwise society will collapse. Winning by any means necessary is how countries get taken over. Everyone wants to believe democracy is the best practice, and yet we'll do everything we can to disqualify someone from racing. That's not very democratic. Sounds very authoritarian. You can be all for social safety nets. You can be all for free health care. I don't know if you can be all for win by any means necessary. Evildoers very rarely know that they are the villain. Because when you think you're doing what's right, and you allow by any means necessary to be acceptable, then you don't even know when you're losing track. Right now it's very clear that our government is handling things differently for different people. As long as citizens like us are worried about Team Red versus Blue and not us versus them, our government is going to keep using their system against us, and it's perfectly okay having Red versus Blue fight it over while independents don't know what to do. Welcome back to Radically Rational Radio. We have a sitting president and a previous president, both with documents in their house, and it's being handled so differently that it's hard to not see the cognitive dissonance and realize that we really do need to stand together against this. Let's jump into it.
Thank you. Let's bring in Kaylee McGee-White. Kaylee, where you can't help but feel like there's disparate justice under the law. Let me share, before I get you to weigh in, what South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace has to say about this. Listen to Nancy Mace.
When we got access to the suspicious activity reports, the day we got access to the SARS reports, Alvin Bragg indicted Trump in New York. The day that we got access to this 1023 form showing bribery between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden in Ukraine, they indict Donald Trump again. Every time the Oversight Committee has evidence of corruption, bribery, money laundering on the Biden family, they indict Donald Trump.
All right, Kaylee, your thoughts.
Well, Republicans are right to feel frustrated with this because it is obvious that there are two standards of justice, one for the establishment and another for everyone the establishment doesn't like. Donald Trump is obviously the #1 figure that the establishment doesn't like, and he's been subjected to the Russiagate hoax, 2 impeachments, 2 indictments, and one need not defend Trump's behavior, especially in this particular indictment that just was released, in order to point this out. The fact is that Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden have been accused of similar crimes. Joe Biden stored documents in his garage improperly. Hillary Clinton used BleachBit to hide the fact that she was illegally using a private email server to send classified information around. These are the exact same crimes, and yet Trump is the only one who has to go to a courthouse to answer for them. So it is selective prosecution in this case. It does, because Trump himself is such a divisive figure, and he does tend to bring out emotions in people. So a lot of the people who hate Donald Trump are going to say, yes, he should answer for these things. And yet a lot of people are also going to admit that the prosecution of him is in fact political. And the fact is that, you know, the James Comey standard that was set back during when Hillary Clinton was accused of very similar crimes, he set the standard that she could get away with this and that she could go without facing any charges or any prosecution. So that's the question, is are we going to apply that same James Comey standard to Donald Trump, or are we going to now decide to enforce the law? This is the problem, is when you decide that the law is unimportant enough to set aside for one political figure, you have to keep that same standard moving forward. And so this is going to be a really tricky thing for the Biden Justice Department, which has already been accused of politicizing justice and multiple investigations, including the investigation into Joe Biden, including the investigation into Hunter Biden. So whether or not they're going to be able to handle this one is important moving forward.
No matter what your political preference is, as an American, you want equal justice, period. No matter what your motivation is to show someone that they're wrong or if they do deserve to be prosecuted, yeah, that's cool. We can't do it one way. It's a free country. I'm sure if you're a hyper-liberal, you're just annoyed and have probably already shut off this video. I'm not trying to shut down your policies. I just want to see our government treat every person trying to lead our country fairly. The deep state is the problem, and the deep state is going to pick people to be their leaders. We can't allow them to play their own game. This is our game. The rules need to be maintained. I hope you learned something. I'm Tristan with Radically Rational Radio. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode.